So what's important now then becomes, where do we start? Where do we start on this path, this journey to influencing like a leader? And I'm going to suggest that you start by getting curious. I believe that curiosity is one of the most critical traits and characteristics for great leaders. And when you're curious, you become a seeker of knowledge, a seeker of wisdom, a seeker of understanding, a seeker of human connection. So what are the keys then to human connection? Well, we need to meet people where they're at, and we need to become relatable to their pain and relevant to their goals. You need to seek to build relationships. Relationships are built over time. Relationships take work, they take effort, and they take work and effort over a long period of time, and they take commitment. And you have to be intentional and deliberate about those relationships. And unfortunately, relationships in today's world very often have been replaced by, how many friends do I have on this social media platform? How many connections do I have on this social media platform? How many likes do I have for this post? We go to networking events, which are generally just glad-handing events. Here's my card, give me your card. Here's my card, give me your card. Here's my card, have your people call my people. Well, if I had people, they could call my people. And all we're doing is creating a database of names and contacts, the people that we can maybe spam with information. That's not about building relationships. And we need to become a seeker of understanding of other people's perspective. We all have our own unique perspective based on our experience, based on our upbringing, based on our education, based on a number of factors. And even if we're at the same event, if we take a single emergency, the call taker in the public safety communications section is going to have one perspective. The dispatcher is going to have a different perspective. Now, I realize that in some public safety communications sections, those are the same person. The responding paramedic is going to have a different perspective. The responding firefighters are going to have a different perspective. The responding law enforcement officers are going to have a different perspective. And even when we're all at the same emergency event, we're all going to have different perspectives. The people that are intimately involved are going to have a unique perspective. The people on the perimeter that are videotaping with their cell phones are going to have a different perspective. The people that watch those videos on the internet are going to have a different perspective. The people that watch that 20-second edited and narrated clip on the 6 o'clock news are given the perspective of a media person that narrates it or comments on it. And the people that watch that are going to have a different perspective. Do we seek to understand other people's perspective in these events? And what's important now is, as we get curious, is we need to open our minds and ask questions. Ask more questions. Ask better questions. Ask deeper questions. Ask more beautiful questions. And we need to ask more and tell less. But asking is only part of the equation. If we're going to ask great questions, then we need to learn to listen to the answers and truly listen. So when I talk about listening, and if we can just go back a couple of slides, when I talk about listening, what I'm talking about is truly listening, not listening to what we do when we say we're listening. Because when we say we're listening, what we're actually doing a lot of times is I'm daydreaming. Or I'm thinking about how I'm going to interrupt you. Or I'm thinking about how I'm going to explain to you that you're wrong and I'm right. Jeffrey Tumlin, in his book, Stop Talking and Start Communicating, talks about 3 habits. You need to listen like every sentence matters. You need to talk like every word counts. And you need to act like every interaction is important. Because they are, and they do.